Objection!
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Bowers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter?
The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers.
Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts?
The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime.
Order! Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind, however. Be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent, even though that's what happens literally every trial, Mr. Wright. I mean, what? If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized.
Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough.
So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed murder?
Okay, so think this through.
Do I already have damage?
No, this is showing you how much damage you will take if you get it wrong.
Okay.
So hypothetically, you could just smash through all three and just brute force it because you have plenty of health.
Okay.
So they do have a point that the dead body was fucking skewered, right? You can check the autopsy report. He was stabbed through the chest.
Yeah.
Little kid can't realistically have done that.
No, not at all.
Right? Okay. So that leaves the two ladies, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I think is important to note. Well, what are you thinking?
I mean, I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to accuse Penny.
Well, okay. Do you remember when you told Old Bag that Penny was saying shit about her?
Yeah, she's like, she doesn't even work here
She
full
doesn't
time.
like Penny, right?
Yeah.
So if there was camera and evidence and stuff that might have possibly thrown Penny under the bus, do you think that Old Bag would have kept quiet about it?
No, I think she would have. I'm just, like, really confused about how this camera works at this point. And the person who's, like...
Okay, someone has manipulated evidence, and it is...
It was literally her!
Yes, it was the old Bag.
Oh, so that makes her more suspect.
She is... And remember, the person in that costume who cannot be your client because your client is innocent would have to have known about the accident and the injury. And she specifically stated that the assistant doesn't know about that.
Okay, yeah. I would have gotten here eventually because I would have had to say... I would have... Like, okay, the difference between playing this game right now here with you is that I don't have a piece of paper. I'm not writing shit down.
I mean, you could literally, like... this game makes it the easiest out of all the ports, because you can just press start right now and save.
Oh.
If you want it. If you didn't feel confident, you could save and do it, which the old way to save scum the game is to save the game and then just constantly guess and eventually brute force it. But this game makes it significantly easier to do this because you can just save and go right back to the action.
Well, I don't like doing that.
But when you're playing it on like the DS port, there is no option to just save. It's save and quit. So you have to reload the entire fucking game every time you want to save.
Oh.
It's a pain in the ass.
Well, I'm just I'm nervous because like I've restarted like a 16-hour game because I died and I was wanting to do a no-death run.
Yeah.
So I don't like save scumming. That's why I would be doing pen and paper with this right now.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, like, I see no difference between the two.
By using pen and paper to write down facts?
Yeah, the court record does that for you.
Oh.
I mean, you're remembering things like that, like... I don't see how a pen and paper would be helping you any more than the court record is.
No, it's just for me. It just helps keep my brain
But yeah.
like good. But yeah, okay. Security lady. It was the bitch! Wendy old bitch!
Woohoo!
The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. Obviously, that means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they'd been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the inquiry. The reason I didn't think of the old one immediately is because you said, like, you implied that I would see her again later.
Oh.
And that she gets fired.
That's meta.
Okay. The meta hurt me.
You could get fired for murder.
Okay.
This is Japan. Even being accused of murder could probably get you fucking fired.
Well, unless you were a sports star, probably. The security lady, old bitch.
What? Whippersnapper? We've talked a little bit about how the guy from Judgment got, like, scrubbed from the game. His likeness was removed from the game because he possessed a little bit of cocaine.
That's true. Do you know what happened to the main character of Judgment, though?
No.
Okay, he was a defense attorney. He got someone acquitted, and the next day the person he got acquitted murdered somebody.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I gotta start that. It's on my shelf.
Okay.
Order! Is this true, old bag?
Old bag? That's Miss Old Bag to you!
Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume.
I hope that lightning didn't catch her, or that thunder didn't pick up on the mic.
Yeah, me too. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder.
Well, why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume?
Have you ever heard of framing someone, Your Honor?
No, what's that?
She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture, and if she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers, the finger being her old bony finger. If you crack its knuckles, you can summon an extra person, but it makes enemies more powerful.
Oh my god, Dark Souls boys.
Yeah.
Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright.
Oh yeah, right there. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby! What up, bitch?
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure in, okay, that game doesn't actually officially exist here in the West, but there's a game that's set in, like, ancient times.
And it's Phoenix.
It's
Phoenix Wright, A Nick in Time.
No, it's his do you remember how there was that era of history where Japan was like, no one getting in, no one, fuck it? Right after that ended is when that game takes place, and it's Phoenix's ancestor, and he goes to, like, England, I think. And the first trial, if I remember right, is, Dr. Watson. So Sherlock Holmes is in that game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't this the part where fuck!
Do you know my name at all?
Isn't this the part where Eggman, fuck! Edgeworth pounces. Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter?
Anything to get her to shut up, Your Honor.
The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
Oh my god, did you see his mouth twitch?
What? What's that supposed to mean?
It means you're an old bitch and nobody likes you, which is the worst thing in this situation.
Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something.
He had someone a lot more, like, objectively attractive than you go after him, and he got a little flustered. But that was that. If I press further, I don't think it's going to go well for me.
I mean, hey, the judge and Edgeworth are both letting you continue.
Oh yeah, because the point is to keep this trial running to time it out for the day.
Basically.
Okay.
I don't know what happens if you
The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Old Bitch's actions on that day.
Why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer?
Because you were jealous. Because he was a star. Or you forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive as well. So I don't need to provide a motive for you because this court system's fucking weird. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait just a minute! What about the other person who went to the studio? The one whose photo I erased!
He's only a grade schooler, though, you said. Second or third grade, was it?
That doesn't matter! When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10-second stops!
Imagine what you could do now. I know in Dungeons & Dragons your stats just go up.
No, they don't.
I know.
Your physical ones go down.
I know.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright?
The boy is not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure?
Is it to be nice to your kids and mean to your elders day? Whippersnapper?
I want that to be a day.
Yeah.
I want that holiday.
I have proof.
Proof?
Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright.
I'm a lawyer.
You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder?
Yep. Okay, so I'm guessing that's...
Whichever your heart feels, it's one of the two. I think both might work. I don't remember exactly.
Take that! This is my proof!
Oh, nope, that was the wrong one.
I can't see how this has anything to do with this matter, Mr. Wright. There aren't that many pieces of evidence the court...
Did I lose health?
No, you don't always lose health if you're
I'll ask
wrong.
again, Mr. Wright.
So you need to chill the fuck out on like, oh, am I gonna be wrong and paralyzed? You didn't even lose for anything.
Okay.
You didn't let me
Take
read the
that,
shit though.
Your
you
Honor.
asshole.
The murder weapon was the samurai spear. That very spear is shown here in this photo. Okay, that makes sense. How could the boy have taken the spear? It's impossible.
I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this?
Murph. The windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first. What's the date? October 17th.
15th, I think, or 16th.
Whatever.
Very well.
Sorry for not letting you
This
read.
court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Ms. Wendy... What was her name?
Something old bag, Your Honor.
Fuck!
The
Everybody's just
prosecution
like,
will list
oh,
further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned.
What's a churn?
Adjourned.
What's a... What is a...
Wait a second! I'm not gonna just sit here while you run up barking up the wrong tree! Me! I'm talking!
God damn it.
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk.
Oh my god, Maya, you killed her.
Ms. Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
Not to talk about.
By whom?
Oh, that's a first, Edgeworth. Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told me not to talk?
Well, testify.
Testify, sister.
My lips were sealed because they've been unused for many years.
Clover Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder.
What the fuck?
They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to accuse me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Who's Scott?
What?
But Ms. Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Ain't you been listening?
I'm
They
an
told
old
me to
bitch.
shut my trap, but I always do what I'm told.
No, you don't. Literally, no, you don't. Literally, no, you don't. Back up these photos. No.
Press the button.
Stop forgetting shit. No. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of old people.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
I know you're an old white bitch. Just,
My lips were sealed.
what was the last time you got laid, for fuck's sake?
None of your business.
So you were told not to talk.
That's right, by the studio and TV bigwigs, no less.
Why didn't I hear about this?
Because you didn't even know she was your client until like 5 minutes ago.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it.
What? I'm so disgusted. Who are these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
The director?
We should have known something was fishy.
I
How
did.
could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director?
Oh, that was, yep, I missed that part.
Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So, where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through.
I
He
noticed
joined
so
the
much
producer
shit that I
around
didn't
lunchtime,
need
and they had a
to.
meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? I know there was a Studio 2.
Wait, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left.
The path where the monkey's head was falling over.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination?
I think I've already asked all my questions, but... Fuck it. Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder.
I know that city. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side.
How is that not suspect? See, you got your money, and you still talked. There's no harm in getting as much info as I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 2 more things to press about. So they were actually in the studio.
Yes, the whole day when they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came.
Wow,
Oh, I'll kill this woman, I swear it.
Oh, how do I get to know what he's thinking?
That was
I feel
me,
sorry
pal. I
for
shared my
Edward.
psychic powers with you.
Almost. She really left him hanging on this one. Thanks, Dick.
Don't call me Dick.
Them? Who are these people?
We're the director and the producer, for starters.
For starters, the director.
We should have known something was fishy. How could they, yeah.
Of course.
That's why I was surprised I would have had.
Yeah. So you basically needed to press on one of those 2 statements.
Okay.
You could just hold B and it'll...
No, I can't. I turned that off.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, that's really all you...
Okay. Your Honor, we've learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. I'm really sick of rich white people getting away with shit. So as we stand here, these people haven't been questioned, and I hold that it's impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. That was weird.
The court acknowledges the defense's point.
Why'd you have to smack the gavel?
I like it. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Mrs. Oldbag, and more information about these other people who we have just been told of.
Ugh. I understand, Your Honor.
This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Yay! October 18th. I got the day right earlier.
You did, I was wrong.
1:04
How
p.m.
about that?
District Court Defendant Lobby Number Trace.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I would like to ask you to defend me.
Oh, really? It's nothing. Oh, or should I...
We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses, for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that Steel Samurai costume?
It's probably the director or the producer, or a surprise character we haven't learned about. Could have been
Could
Larry.
it really have been the old windbag?
No! What do you think, Mr. Powers?
I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time. We talked about this. So it had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers.
It's a really lucky thing that Phoenix is a good guy because he is a little too effective at painting someone else as being guilty just to protect his client. It's a little scary, but we're all lucky that he's a good guy. Poor old windbag.
He's a better
I feel kinda
Miles.
sorry for her.
Well, she was bitch, so...
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right. We'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, Bub.
I mean, Miles... Here's the thing. Miles is a really good prosecutor as long as Phoenix isn't behind the defense attorney bench.
That's funny.
He has his own game series.
What's it called?
It's like Miles Edgeworth Investigations or something. Technically it isn't officially translated. There are a few fan translations floating around.
Fan
DS
trans.
told me they're good. I haven't looked into them because, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but in my own personal opinion, the trials are, like, the best parts of this game, and the Miles Sedgeworth games don't have them. You just do an investigation, and then your investigation is right, and the person is guilty.
That sounds boring.
It's, some characters show up and stuff, and there's good gumshoe stuff I've heard, but I haven't checked it out.
Okay.